young, weren't they? The team really sort of got hold of the game today.
Well, Eastman's an outstanding player. I mean, he's been here 3 years, 3 seasons now. He's just signed a new 2.5-year deal, so that'd be nearly, he loves it here. He had plenty of chances to go to a League Two club, but he didn't see the benefit. And this football club has got a player that loves being here and is probably going to be here for a long, long time. And when you start getting people show commitment for 4, 5, 6 years, which a lot of this team will have done, they grow together, and it's a bond that they've got in there that you never know when they're beaten. They're up against it at times, i.e. not travelling overnight and not training 4 days a week, but their view is that they're good enough to keep winning matches.
You sort of made a little joke there about 2 more points to be safe from relegation, but you are banging this promotion race.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say we're not, because we are, and it would be disrespectful to the players if I said that we're not banging there. There's, what was that, 16 to go? 16 games to go. You've got probably 8 of those to do between now and the start of March, and we need to be in and around it, the start of March, because that's when it's a marathon this season, and the old, you then start looking at March, it's more like the 800 metres. Come to April, you need to be on the bend, and if we can be on the starting line in March with probably about 8 or 9 others, then that is a fantastic position for us to be in. No one's going to walk away with it. No one's going to be top in March and have walked away with it. Not even Tranmere. I still think Tranmere will win it, with the depth of squad they've got and the quality they've got. But I think it's a real credit to this league. Those 8 or 9 sides that feel that they've got enough about them to give it a go.
And credit to your team as well that you're in it as well, because maybe people would say earlier in the season that you'd fall away or not be keep going, but you can't be ignored at all, can you really?
No, and I think again it's great credit to the club, the chairman, that they took the view that I think you've seen around the ground today. We spent a lot of money, almost a big percentage of the FA Cup money on the ground improvements. That includes paying the pitch off. It includes paying everything, the new floodlights and new dressing rooms. But what we did allow for was enough money this year to make sure we didn't have a problem with the second season syndrome, and that money's allowed us to improve our budget. It's still a mid-table budget for this league. It's not top of the table. It's certainly not bottom either. So we are punching above our weight in terms of our budget, but it's a good enough budget to compete. And so the chairman's allowed us to do that, taking the view that the lads earned the money from the FA Cup, and it was right to give them as much help this year as he could give them. Obviously, and we're benefiting from having a squad now of 20. Someone said to me, I think they looked at the bench today, there's 3 or 4 that never got in today, or 2 I think that didn't get in today, the 2 were injured. But we are up to 22 now. We've never had that at this club. I've normally worked off 17, 18 with having to bring loans in, and we've always had 5 and 6 injured, always. So if we get 5 injured now, I've still got 16. So it makes a huge difference, and it also adds competition as well.
They say 16 games to go though, and it's all sort of in front of you all to see what you can go on and achieve as well.
I think the massive thing here is there's zero pressure to go up, and I mean that in a positive way. There's about 8 chairmen who are desperate to get out of this league, and ours, rightly would love to do it, but isn't putting any pressure on us to do it, because we feel the National League's a great league for us, and that puts you under pressure. We're under no pressure. At the end of the day, if we finish 10th this season, that's a great season for us. If we finish first, that's a great season for us. So there's no pressure on me. I don't feel any pressure. I don't need to. I think that you transmit that over to the players, that feeling of calmness. And like I said, it's a bit different when your chairman's actually telling the press that you've got to go up this year, or and that's affected the likes of Hartlepool and Leighton Orient and big teams with big budgets that aren't at the moment aren't in the race. And I think this year's the unusual one. It's a bit like Leicester City winning the Premiership. I think this year could be the unusual one. Where even the second team that gets promoted won't be an obvious one. I think Boreham Wood have recruited brilliantly. I think Boreham Wood are going to be right up there as well. Always a big, strong side as well. Got some great pace on top. So
experience in those.
Yeah, and I think Luke's again. Luke and I are probably shopping around the same sort of areas of budget, and I think they're another club that I'm putting right up there as being there or thereabouts.
Definitely, top man. Appreciate that.
All right, boys.
Thank you very much.
Wearing number 5, Lord John, number 6, Jamie Collins, 18, Kenny Davis, 11, Kerry Gallagher, 16, Nicky Bailey, 19, Terrell Thomas, 20, Tommy Wright, 22.
valuable, hard-earned 3 points. You must be delighted at the end of that.
Yeah, like you said, really hard fought. Couldn't be sort of prouder of the players in terms of a back to the wall performance for the last half an hour or 35 minutes once Harry had been sent off, and we withstood a barrage of long balls coming into the box, and good crosses actually coming into the box as well. And Walton in particular, Collins, Terrell Thomas, Louis John, whole back five really, Bailey, outstanding today. And then we had obviously the brilliance of Tommy Wright, and you watched a masterful sort of centre forwards position. Performance rather for about 60 minutes prior to Harry getting sent off. I mean, it was just a joy to watch. First half I enjoyed actually. I thought both sides had chances, open game. We had 6 chances to their 3, and you really felt that we deserved our half-time lead. But second half we had to dig in. Yeah. That showed another side of the team now.
I was just going to say, conditions actually, first half I thought was a terrific game.
Yeah, I think the groundsman's done well to get the pitch fit. A lot of sand on the pitch, but to get the pitch fit to be ready. Clearly once again after about 20 minutes, half an hour, the rain then picked up even more.
And Craig Dundas in the middle with Tom Bollarimmer and Kieran Cadogan wide and Tommy Wright up front. Substitutes the same as on Saturday, except with Craig Dunstan starting line-up. Goalkeeper Owen Evans, who's based in Lancashire anyway with Wigan, has made the short trip up and is on the bench as a reserve goalkeeper. The players have now just come out and are lining up in front of me. The reason, incidentally, for the clambering over the seats was that I was sat where it would have been easier to use the laptop, but had a big pillar in the way, and the moment the laptop goes out of use, then I've moved to the front row of the visiting directors area, because the press box is right over the other side of the ground here at Barrow, and it's quite difficult to get around the ground here. So we've come down to the front now, where we get, I think this is the same seat as I sat in last year. We've got a very good view just above the touchline, and the players have done their respect handshake, and will shortly be lining up. Just realised I've left my team sheet stuck in the laptop, so not quite possibly the professional service you're used to from SUFCtv, but we're in action and looking forward to a good evening here at Holker Street. The Barrow side tonight: number 1 Steve Arnold, Jack Barthram 21, 8 Cal McDonald, 6 Musa Diarra, 25 Ollie Cook, 9 Jordan White, 14 Asa Hall, 23 familiar name of course to Sutton people, Vicente Gomez, former Sutton midfielder, 16 Grant Holt, the former Norwich City striker, 24 Luke James, and 3 Dan Jones, whose long throw-ins will be a problem for Sutton if they get the chance to attack them. So Musa Diarra, another popular familiar figure of course. From his time with Hemel Hempstead, and so it'll be Sutton to kick off. Playing from left to right, Sutton supporters, of whom I can see 9 standing behind the goal to my left, which Sutton will be defending. And away we go. It's Sutton who kick off. The ball is played long through. Diarra and Dundas go for it. It eventually falls to Tom Bollarimmer and runs out of play for a throw-in to Sutton. Referee tonight, Mark Edwards from the Newcastle area. And Dickie Bailey will take the throw-in midway inside the Barrow half. Looks for Dundas. Might fall to Bollarimmer, and does. A little bit of trick on the edge of the area. Flicks it in, looking for Cadogan. Might fall for Cadogan again in the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper then, Steve Arnold, didn't gather it cleanly and had to pounce on it just for a moment. It looked as though Cadogan might get in there. So we can see how Sutton are lining up with Craig Dundas in the Harry Buterman position of the three, with Simon Walton and Kenny Davis, the two midfielders, and then Bolarim with Dundas and Cadogan behind Tommy Wright, who had such a brilliant game playing up front on his own at Barrow Dover on Saturday. And as with Manny Parry at Dover, there's a distinct height difference between Wright and Musa Diarra, but we'll be hoping he can do as well on the ground as he did. Just a word about the conditions. Pitch looks in good nick. There is a slightly soggy patch, we're told, at the end. Sutton are defending in this half, and also on the far side, which is the area that caused the problems a couple of weeks ago. But the rain here was early. It's been a glorious afternoon, actually. The players travelled up this morning, spent the afternoon in Lancaster at the hotel they're staying at overnight as well. And it was a glorious afternoon this afternoon, if chilly, but very bright and sunny, and the pitch in perfect condition, almost, as Barrow forced back to goalkeeper Steve Arnold, who then plays it short, and they play it across the back then to Diarra, the tall centre-back, plays it short to McDonald, Callum McDonald. Now Gomez, still deep inside his half, sprays it wide to the far side, where it's finally played forward, and Terrell Thomas covering across, nice little header down, and now Simon Walton picks it up and looks to put Tommy Wright in. Wright, good little knockdown there by Wright to Cadogan, who will now attack the penalty area, cuts inside but loses his footing, and then is adjudged to have impeded the Barrow player, who gets the free kick, and they take it quickly. But just that little area over there on the far side, and the ball held up a little bit, and it was Grant Holt, I think, who was forced to go back. No, that's Holt just playing it back, and that's not a very great ball back either, and Davis has just about got in there, but Barrow just well, and then Bolarim were pulling back Holt, and another free kick which now goes to Vicente Gomez. Gomez plays it through, and offside flag is up on the far side from assistant Richard Woodward. The other assistant John Mulligan on this side. And a reserve official for the second year running at Barrow. We have a female reserve official here tonight, Lindsay Robinson. And Jamie Butler will take the free kick about 10 yards outside the penalty area. Barrow with Luke James making his debut alongside Grant Holt up front tonight. As Butler drives the free kick, always way into the penalty area. Collins looking to knock it down for Cadogan, but he's penalised for pushing. And a third free kick in the first couple of minutes goes against Sutton. And Barrow will have a chance to clear their lines from the edge of their own penalty area. All the players moving up to the halfway line. As you don't know Barrow's ground, I'm in the main stand, which runs along one side to the end to my left, as the flag goes up for offside from that free kick. The end to my left is an open terrace, this corner of which is populated by I think it's 10 actually, 10 Sutton supporters I'd like to see standing on to my left. And we've got about 5 representation, about 5 in the director's box as well. Opposite is a terrace mainly covered with the press box behind it, and to my right a small terrace in front of the dressing rooms and social club area, as that free kick is played long, but it's too long for Bolarim, and picked up by goalkeeper Steve Arnold. That's why Thomas just runs in front of me, one of the substitutes this evening, along with Bradley Hudson-Odoi, Adam Coombs, Simon Downer and goalkeeper Owen Evans. And the clearance goes long downfield. Terrell Thomas judging it well in the air, headed on again and picked up and cleared by Jamie Collins. Collins knocks it forward, and in the end Ollie Cook can do nothing other than head the ball out of play, and it's going to be a Sutton throw. And the referee just telling Kieran Cadogan to lob it back a little bit to Jamie Collins. And Collins will take it. He's still inside the Barrow half on the far side, the Sutton left, as they attack that clubhouse end in the first half. Plays it to Dundas, gets it back, chips it forward, finds Cadogan. Cadogan lays it off looking for Dundas. Then a strong challenge comes in from Asa Hall, puts it out for another throw in. 5 minutes gone, still waiting for the first So waiting for the first goal, first sight of a goal, or any half chance really, or early on Cadogan could have pounced when the goalkeeper was slightly uncertain with his handling inside the 6-yard box. But other than that, it's been a slow start as Collins takes the throw in again and finds Dundas, who lays it off to Davis. Davis chips towards the far post looking for Bolarimwa, but covered well. It still might come down to Bolarimwa if he can lay it back to Dundas. Dundas side foot shot, but no real power in it, straight at the goalkeeper. But it wasn't a great clearance by Callum MacDonald that put his team under a little bit of pressure. Bolarimwa laid it back to Dundas, but the shot lacked power and was straight at the goalkeeper, and Barrow now clears. Holt gets a flick on above Lewis John, but Nicky Bailey covering in the right back position, and we'll happily see that ball over the line for a Sutton throw in midway inside their own half on the Sutton right. Bailey throws it down the line, knocked on. Diarra comes across, Dundas and a little flick, now finds Bolarimwa. Bolarimwa turns inside, and the referee thought for a moment he wasn't going to give it, but I think in fact he was just waiting for an advantage, and Bolarimwa has gone down. In fact, he stayed down. And Davis just getting to the ball, and now Kieran Cadogan, I think, will take this free kick midway inside the Barrow half and about 15 yards in from the right touchline. The referee seems to have put the shaving foam down, which seems a bit unnecessary from this distance. Gomes is standing there, but he hasn't put the comparable straight in, and Cadogan's free kick is drilled towards the far post. Collins getting a header back, headed out, and then Walton trying to get round Grant Holt, and in fact managing to get it on the edge of the penalty area, and that falls to Collins, all very tight, and Collins thinks he's impeded, and then a little scrap between Jamie Collins and I think it's Grant Holt, the experienced former striker, and the free kick's gone Barrow's way, but I think the referee's going to want to speak to both of them when they finish talking to each other. And I think the free kick will go Barrow's way. The vanishing spray that was put down for that Cadogan free kick hasn't vanished, and there's little white bits on the ground in front of me here, but referees had a talking to with Grant Holt and Collins, and Barrow will now take the free kick. Goalkeeper Steve Arnold will take it on the edge of the penalty area and drive it through. One other change at Barrow since we came here last season is the floodlights, which probably still can be seen from the station, but they don't quite look like floodlights like the old traditional square corner pylons here did, but redone during the summer as Sutton have to clear the ball there. Terrell Thomas throws it out of play, and this will, I think, be the first chance for Dan Jones, who's going across from the left wing position to the right, so he's going to, fairly predictable, this is going to be a long throw, and the long legs of Diarra goes for it, and there's a mighty throw comes in, and it's headed away by Edwards, comes down to Gomes, shot, oh, straight deflection in, and Gomes has scored against Sutton. It took a deflection off Nicky Bailey, but I think it was still on target, but the deflection wrong-footed Jamie Butler completely, and Vicente Gomes against Sutton has given Barrow a lead in the 9th minute. The throw-in was headed out by Thomas, but there was nobody picking up Gomes on the edge of the penalty area. He hit a left foot shot, so it deflected off Bailey about 6 yards out, which rather took the ball away from Butler, but it was on target, and I think Gomes will be credited to the goal. And against his former club, Gomes has opened the scoring here for Barrow, who lead by a goal to nil. So Sutton having to come back from that. Not Sutton be fully aware of the throw-in problem, but that was Barrow coming forward again here with Jordan White driving towards the far post, but too close to go at Jamie Butler, who takes that one quite comfortably and immediately releases it downfield looking for Tommy Wright, who gets a good header again against his marker, and in the end MacDonald has to come in with a clearance that hammers it out of play on the far side for a Sutton throw. Sutton, aware of the danger caused by Dan Jones's throw-ins, seem to have dealt with that one, but they didn't pick Gomes up on the edge of the penalty area, and his left foot shot finding the back of the net with the aid of a slight deflection, and Barrow lead by a goal to nil as Collins chips the ball toward the edge of penalty area. Tommy Wright again trying to win that one in the air, but Diarra coolly heads it back to goalkeeper Steve Arnold. And Barrow just a point above the relegation zone in Vanarama National League South, so important game for them tonight to try and take advantage of the fact that there's only one other game that involves guys. There's a huge clearance by Arnold, and John has got his head to that, and it's off target and away for a corner. That was an enormous clearance by Steve Arnold. There's no real wind today up here, or at least that we can tell in the sitting in the stand, and that went a very, very long way, and John in the end did well to direct it away from goal, but it will be a corner which will again see the big men go forward. Diarra, Terrell Thomas looks as though he's got the job on that. It was Thomas who got the head to that throw-in from Jones, and I think did what he had to do, but it was the picking up on the edge of the area that Sutton failed to. Jordan White takes the scoring towards the near post, and it's headed away by Kenny Davis at the near post. Tommy Wright does well to make it his, now finds Bollerimwa, but Gomez comes in with a challenge, lays it back to number 8 Callum McDonald, turns it inside to Asa Hall. Hall skips past the other number 14 Dundas, and then plays it out to the left to Jones. Jones, left foot cross coming in. Thomas, not the most convincing of clearances, but it did the job, and Kieran Cadogan picking it up on the edge of the penalty area, drives it downfield, but that'll be picked up by Ollie Cook and cleared out of play for a throw-in to Sutton, midway inside the Sutton half. Sutton trailing by a goal to nil here. Bedsenti Gomez, former Sutton midfielder, with a left foot volley. Slight deflection from Nicky Bailey, but Gomez's goal, and that's the only goal of the game at the moment. Sutton trying to get back, on a long header back there by Asa Hall that has his goalkeeper scrambling a little bit, but he manages to keep it in and prevents the ball going for a corner. And now it comes across and clears it, and again puts a lot of distance on that to almost the edge of the penalty area, and this time John heads it and goes up this time. Simon Walton gets a knock on, and then Kenny Davis, neat header back, and Nicky Bailey completes the clearance long downfield looking for Dundas, who's been all sorts of arms and legs there with Diarra, but the referee happy with what was going on, and the throw in eventually goes to Sutton just inside the Barrow half in front of me here on the Sutton right, and Nicky Bailey will take it. Bollerimwa making himself available, but in fact throws it square to Terrell Thomas, who'll come forward from the centre-back position, but then overdoes it and gives the ball away, and then does well actually to block down the clearance, but it still comes to Holes and then blaze it off to Dan Jones, but Jones' first touch on a great one. Bailey comes in, and Kenny Davis as well, and then runs it out to play for a throw-in. Bailey has stayed down after what was a fair challenge, but it's going to require treatment from Bobby Charles. It was one of those 50-50 challenges, no question of a foul, but Bailey may just have jarred his leg against the ball and the opponent, and just got Bobby Childs having a brief look at it, but I don't think it's majorly serious, and Bailey will just have to come to the sidelines until the throw-in's taken. And will be taken when Barrow have stopped having an impromptu coaching session in front of me here. Manager Adi Pennock and his coaching staff. And I think without Nicky Bailey on the pitch, Dan Jones is going to fancy hurling this one in again from midway inside the half. Nicky Bailey can do nothing about this. Although on the last one all he did was deflect Gomez' shot past Jamie Butler, but Jones, who hasn't got quite as much of a run up here but doesn't really need one. It's a huge throw, and this one Collins does enough to dissuade Grant Holt from getting to it, and it's through to Jamie Butler, who clearance again is a long one. Tommy Wright brings that down looking for Cadogan, but misses Cadogan and his marker, and is laid off by Gomez to Asa Hall, who down the left but fairly harmless. Simon Walton picks that one up and plays it back to Butler. Barrow 1, Sutton 0, quarter of an hour gone. Bedsenti Gomez against his former club, the scorer. And Bailey has kicked that out, and Nicky Bailey, I think, has decided that he's not going to be able to carry on. So that's a blow for Sutton in only the 16th minute. Bailey has limped off again, and Simon Downer, I think, is going to come into the fray. And it'll be a Barrow throw in. And Grant Holt eventually takes the throw in and throws it back to Butler, who kicked it out so that the Bailey could come off and the change could be made. Simon Downer, who I think travelled up independently from the West Country and met the team at the hotel this afternoon, as Dundas wins that one, but is penalised for challenging against his marker, and Barrow will get a free kick, but at least with the ball out of play it will give Simon Downer a chance to come on and bring Sutton up to the full complement. And in the 17th minute, Downer comes on to replace Nicky Bailey. I think the result will be that Lewis John comes to right back and Downer goes to the middle. It will be eventually a Barrow free kick. They lead by a goal to nil. Gary Miss in the 9th minute, the scorer of the only goal so far. Downer first needs to not quite cut that one out, but Lewis John does and throws it downfield. And throwing, John thought he was caught late. And manager Paul Doswell, I think, just trying to attract the referee's attention, because there's going to be another Barrow throw, which Dan Jones will again hurl into the penalty area. So this will be the third one that Sutton have had to defend. They didn't defend the first one, they defended the second. See what happens with this one. Here it comes again. It's a huge throw again. Diarra this time is well out jumped, and the ball comes out to right under pressure from 3 defenders, but eventually lays it back to Terrell Thomas, and a little bit of slippery pitch around there, and Luke James thought he was fouled, but the referee happy for play to go on, and Barrow have got the ball back though in their own penalty area now with the goalkeeper Steve Arnold, who plays it all the way downfield. Good jump by Downer, his first touch, the convincing header. It's headed then on looking for Holt trying to flick it through, but Terrell Thomas comes in and knocked forward. Downer's going to have to deal with that, heads it out towards the penalty area. Collins gets a header on, and eventually it's played by the right, but Hall has slightly miscued that, and Tommy Wright in well, and eventually Sutton bring it away with Cadogan. Cadogan, though, muscles off it, but then does well to win the ball back and finds Kenny Davis, and Davis looking to put Dundas in on the left of the penalty area. Dundas, in the end, played out by Jack Bartham, who could do nothing other than play the ball out for a throw-in on the far side. So a chance possibly for Sutton to have an attack, although they don't have anything of the weapon of Dan Jones's throw-ins, although they dealt with that third one convincingly. And when the ball comes back from the terrace on the far side, Jamie Collins will take the throw-in. He's going to try and throw a long one. Terrell Thomas and Lewis John have both gone up there. It's a reasonable effort actually, and John up there. Gomez with a flick on, headed back. It's going to come down to John. Volley and blocked. Got everything behind that, but the defender charged it down. Collins plays it back into the penalty area. This one comfortably cleared up now to James, who brings it down well and lays it off, and that's a good bit of play by James. Lays it off to Jones going down the left. He's got McDonald streaking down the left after him, but it chips towards the far post, but it's poor ball in actually. It was neither one thing or the other, and quite comfortably dealt with by goalkeeper Jamie Butler. But Lewis John really caught hold of that volley. It was quite close range, and there's a long ball now played forward by Collins looking for Bolarimwa, but Arnold off his line to save. But John caught that volley quite cleanly, about 6 yards out, but it was blocked well by the defender, and Barrow escaped, and they now have a throw-in just inside the Sutton half. Jones is going to take this, not going to take this one. McDonald Callum McDonald is going to take it from the moment. I thought Jones was going to fancy his chances of landing in the penalty area from here. It's about 5 yards inside the half, but he's gone forward, and Callum McDonald instead will take the throw in. Walton surely got a nudge in the back there. I could see it from here. Referee, even better position, could see it, and Sutton with a free kick to relieve the pressure. 20 minutes gone, just over 20 minutes. Barrow leading by a goal to nil. Vicente Gomes against the club with which he won the Vanarama National League South, with a few of these players that are in the Sutton team tonight. A left-footed shot from the edge of the penalty area after the referee just being a little bit pernickety about where Jamie Butler is going to take the free kick. Butler's taken it. Diarra wins that one in the air. It falls to Davis, and now Bolarimwa, who plays it off McDonald. In fact, he doesn't play it off McDonald. It comes back off Bolarimwa and out for a throw-in. Throw-in is to Barrow, but it's close to their own corner flag on this side, the Barrow left. And down the line it goes, headed back by John to Dundas. He lays it back to Bolarimwa, all very tight in there, but if anybody can get out of there, it's Bolarimwa, but not on this occasion. And Barrow get themselves out with a charge down by Simon Walton, who plays blocks the ball high into the air and out for another Barrow throw-in, keeping them close to their own corner flag. But it's Barrow who have the lead by a goal to nil as we get towards the midway point of the first half. Goal in the 9th minute. And now the referees going to send the Barrow player back. Gomes just having a word with him, and then Jones sets a long one down. Lewis John gets ahead to it, and Thomas covering across finds Collins. Collins miscues it slightly, but Simon Walton's alert and plays it forward. And Ollie Cook gets in the way, knocks it forward, but nobody's going to reach that before it goes out of play for a Sutton throw. Midway inside the Sutton half on the far side, Sutton left, about where Jones hurled the ball in for the throw-in that led to the Barrow goal. As Collins throws it down the line this time. Knocked forward, then belted forward again by Downer. Diarra coming across and plays it forward again. Downer heads it forward again. Bolarimwa gets a little flick on this time to right, little flick to Davis, who I think was trying to play it to Bolarimwa, miscued it and was able to recover and then find Collins. I don't think the pitch is quite as good as it looks. There's a little bit of slipping and a few uncertain bits of footing as Collins has played that across the face of the Sutton half. Now to John, just in front of me here. John plays it forward, looking for Dundas, edge of the penalty area. Dundas, ball falls down, it's going to fall to Gomes, and then back to McDonald, who, again, slightly uncertain with his footing there before he cleared it. But now Downer heads it forward to Bolarimwa, who for the first time has got a little bit of space, plays it to Davis, but Gomes comes in with a challenge. Diarra hammers it forward to Holt, who lays it off to Hall. There's a Hall nose. Got Jordan White on the right if he can see him, and he can, but White's going to have to stretch a little bit to get to that one, but he does. And Cadogan comes in there with a good challenge. And eventually the ball falls to Collins. A slightly careless ball forward there by Collins to Hall. And now Gomes inside the centre circle brings it this way to Dan Jones. Jones back to McDonald. Just inside the Barrow half now, goes over the halfway line into the centre circle again. Plays it forward to Hall, who gets it out to Barcham on the right. Barcham passing in, playing it through. It's a good ball in, looking for Holt there. He's got in on the right of the area. If he can pull it back, he can. And Luke James coming in at the near post. Couldn't really direct it under pressure from Downer. And it's out for a goal kick to Sutton. Good defending that by Downer, made sure that James couldn't get the ball, get his foot round the ball to put it on target, but it was a good ball forward by Barcham to Holt that gave Barrow the chance to have that attack. Good ball in from the experienced former Football League striker who started his career here at Barrow, as we were reminded beforehand, but James unable to direct the clearance. Butler's clearance not quite as bad as made out to be by the supporters behind the goal, but Simon Walton's been penalised for a push, and Barrow have taken the free kick, but from the wrong place, and the referee, who is, I think, not one of those, unlike Saturday, so as somebody commented until the Harry Buchanan tackle, you hadn't actually noticed he was there in conditions that were far more difficult than this. But Mark Edwards, our man in the middle tonight, is not not shrunk into the background so far. And Paul Doswell at one point, when he was pushing that free kick of Jamie Butler's back, wasn't slow to make the point either. Here's the free kick driven in by Barrow, but it's headed out by Down as far as Gomez. Plays it to Jones. Jones plays it into the penalty edge of the penalty area to James. James falls backwards though to McDonald. McDonald gets in a low cross and it's well covered by Simon Walton, who hammers the ball forward. Ollie Cook gets in and then John gets in with a good header as well. Bollerin loses out to Holt. Brings it back inside to Gomez, and Gomez sprays it all the way now wide to Barcham. It'll be a good ball if he can get there, and he can. He's just inside the Sutton half. Squares it to Hall, but that's not a great pass by Hall. Didn't give Jordan White any chance and goes out for a throw-in to Sutton on the far side, at level with the edge of their own penalty area. 25 minutes gone here at Holker Street. Barrow 1, Sutton 0. Bedsenti Gomez on the 9th minute, score of the goal. Right, battling hard on the far side, and battling hard enough in fact that he's won the throw-in the end. And Jamie Collins will take this one, a lot nearer to the halfway line than the last one. And goes down the line looking for Dundas, headed inside though by Barcham and picked up by Gomez, who brings it to the left to McDonald. McDonald at the left to Jones. Jones flicks it against Lewis John and out for a throw-in. Gomez hits the ground off the ball, and I think is complaining to the referee that he might have been taken out by Kenny Davis, but Gomez and Davis exchanging conversations. I think it's a fairly one-way conversation and mostly in French, so I'm not sure Kenny Davis was that interested if he could understand any of it. But anyway, the ball's launched forward. Lewis John and Davis and Gomez again. Davis comes out on top on that one and now finds Cadogan, and Cadogan plays it towards Bollerin, but Dan Jones covering back and then plays it all the way back to Arnold with a fair bit of pace, but nothing that the goalkeeper can't deal with, and he clears it downfield again. Terrell Thomas wins that one in the air, square headed down, but Tommy Wright in to nick it, and Lewis Johnson neat skills to go past Holt and now comes forward and gives it back to Wright. A little bit harder than I think Wright wanted, and Wright forced to play it out of space into Terrell Thomas. Coming up towards the halfway line, squares it left to Jamie Collins, and Collins forced to go back to Walton, who's filled in at centre half for the moment, while Terrell Thomas has just pushed forward a little bit. Downer plays it forward to Dundas. That might be a nice little flick off there if John can get to it, but he can't. And Callum McDonald hits there first and runs it out for a throw-in to Barrow, who lead by a goal to nil with 16 minutes to go to half-time. Throw-in will be taken by McDonald, who keeps coming a lot further out than where it went out, but gets it back, plays it forward, looking for Luke James, who's onside. A little bit of uncertainty there between Thomas and Butler, and eventually Butler comes out and kicks it clear. Dundas under pressure from Diarra, plays it back, and the throw-in goes to Barrow. And Jones is being told to come further back where he takes the throw-in. Hasn't got anywhere near the referee told him to take it, but is still throwing it down the line. And John covering across, plays it forward to Bollerin. And Bollerin plays it forward, looking for Dundas. Diarra gets his head to it, but in the end, Cook has to come across and do the defending. Can only put it out for a throw-in. In a good position this for Sutton, level with the edge of the Barrow penalty area on this side of the right. And Cadogan is coming across to take the throw-in. He's taking his gloves off to do it. So obviously, long throws are either in, and he takes it short to Davis and then gets it back. Cadogan then, close to the right touchline, getting in to try and get across him, gets across him, but it's headed out by Gomez, edge of the penalty area. Comes to Tommy Wright, who drives it in, blocked by Barcham, and out for another throw-in. So maybe Kieran Cadogan's just decided it's not cold enough for wearing gloves. Lewis John will take it, and this time goes back to Downer. Jamie Collins is pushed forward, and that's who the target is. Gets a little flick on looking for Dundas, but Barcham's across there first and clears it, only as far as Terrell Thomas on the halfway line. Thomas looking around for options as he brings it forward, plays it forward to Bolarimwa, then he gets it back, goes easily past one player and then is blocked surely by a hand there as he knocked the ball past, and so Sutton with a free kick and a chance to put men in the box. It's going to be close to the left wing, and it's a little better than midway inside the Barrow half, and Cadogan possibly going across to take it. Collins has taken it quickly to Cadogan, gets it back now to Collins, will get a chance to put the ball in. Puts the cross in, it's not a great one, headed out by Holt. Davis in with a header, headed out again by Holt. Somebody right chasing that one. And eventually it's laid back to McDonald, who plays a diagonal pass looking for James, but he's not going to reach that. And out it goes for a throw in on the far side. But this one now back inside the Sutton half as they trail by a goal to nil. Their old teammate Bedsenti Gomez scoring in the 9th minute, the goal that separates the sides. Butler drives the ball downfield. Dundas wins that one but can't direct the flick on under pressure from Ollie Cook, 25, and it's out for a Barrow throw on the far side, just inside the Barrow half. And down the line it goes. Collins wins that one. It's played forward by Hall, looking for James, hooked out by Downer, but it's going to be a Barrow throw, and I think I know what's coming here. It's not that far inside the Sutton half, but Diarra's going forward, Cook's going forward, and Dan Jones will again hurl the ball into the danger area. This time Cadogan is noticeably closer to Gomez than he was the first time. So here it comes again, hurled in. Walton heads it up rather than out, and then heads it out the second time as far as Hall. Hall out to Jones again, who crosses right-footed. But there's a reason that he plays on the left, and that's probably it. The ball sails behind the goal and onto the terracing behind Jamie Butler's goal for a goal kick. Discussion between Kieran Cadogan and Paul Doswell about why that last free kick was taken short. And Jamie Butler will take the goal kick. Again, hooks it slightly left. Collins gets a flick on, looking for Bolarimwa. He's going to put Barcham under pressure, but Barcham manages to shepherd it out for a Barrow throw. Bolarimwa and Cadogan seem to have swapped places. Bolarimwa also decided it's not cold enough for gloves, so no player, Sutton player now wearing gloves. In fact, no player at all wearing gloves is right. Takes that one, lays it back to Walton, and Walton lays it back, but only to James, but he's well challenged by Terrell Thomas, who then shows a lovely turn and keeps the ball in on the far side. Some good work that by Thomas, but then he's dispossessed, and Simon Walton covering back plays it down the line for Dundas, who tries to chest it off to right but only finds Gomez. Gomez plays it to Jordan White. White looking for Gomez to continue his run, but Simon Walton shadowed it. Walton plays it against Gomez and out for a throw in on the far side to Sutton. Again, a couple of players looking as though they were having trouble with their footing there. I don't think it's getting down to freezing levels yet. It's a chilly night, but not an unusually cold one for February. As Terrell Thomas has played the ball across the face of his own penalty area to Jamie Butler, who might have been put under a bit more pressure by Holt then, but wasn't. But the clearance wasn't a great one anyway. It's come to McDonald, but he's forced back by Cadogan and Wright between them, and still manages just about to get out of it. Callum McDonald, he's done well there under pressure, but he still hasn't got it. But then he has found a Barrow player and played back to Diarra. Diarra plays it down the line, but it's out of play. Surely out of play. Yes, it is out of play, and it'll be a throw in to Sutton. Just for a moment I thought, well, the assistant wasn't going to give that, but it was quite clear it had gone out of play. And so it's a throw in to Sutton. Jordan White gets in front of Dundas and heads it out for another one. Another example of swapping sides now, Jordan White and Dan Jones, although if Jones's cross just now with his right foot was a sign, then he may not be happy on the right, but anyway he presumably can do better than that, because that's where he is at the moment, as Thomas has played it forward to Bolarimwa, who's brought that one down well and come between two players, and then Davis tries to chip it forward, but it deflects off Gomez and out for a Sutton throw in. But it's in the Barrow half, so they could make an attack out of this. Collins a lot more advanced than Bolarimwa and eventually throws it to Bolarimwa, who plays a good crossfield pass to Lewis John, who brings it down well and comes forward in the centre circle. Plays it forward to Dundas, who under pressure from about 4 players can't make anything of it. And now Barrow could attack with John out of position here, but Simon Downer covered well and plays it forward to Cadogan, and John lifts it forward looking for Wright, but Diarra unchallenged for that one. Good jump by Kenny Davis, and now it comes down to Davis again, looking to put Dundas in on the right edge of the penalty area. Can Dundas get in there? I think that's going to go out for a goal kick. It is. Asa Hall, Ollie Cook shepherding it out, and out it goes for a goal kick. Dundas not quite able to affect the game the way he'd want so far, battling hard, but finding it hard and getting a couple of players around him whenever he's involved. The Jordan White, Dan Jones switch didn't last very long. Jones is now back over on this side, the left. Holtz won a good one in the air there, and Terrell Thomas did well to get it away, and Collins knocks it forward to Cadogan, but again Diarra beats him in the air, and it comes to Jones, who puts the ball over his shoulder. Downer, good jump, it comes again to Holt, who heads it forward, and laid back by Holt to Jones, and the flag up for offside eventually. The referee deciding that he'll let Jamie Butler get on with it as Butler's got the ball in his hands. And plays it down, looking for Dundas. This time Dundas and Diarra both miss it, and Tommy Wright manages to get in to find Cadogan. Cadogan on the right with a chance to cross it, crosses it left-footed, deep. Bolarimwa, can he head it back? Does that hit somebody on the hand? Well, Bolarimwa appealed, the management appealed, I appealed, but referee hasn't given it, and now Barrow are attacking with James, cutting inside, plays it forward, looking for Holt. Holt's got Dan Jones in on the left edge of the penalty area, pulls it across, all the way across goal. It's going to come to Barcham far side, the danger's not over yet. Barcham, chip back to the far post, Butler just about tips it out, and John gets the touch, but referee's given a free kick. And now Sutton might question the handball there, as Bolarimwa's header came back. Simon Walton is appealing, certainly looked from here as though Bolarimwa's header hit a hand. Paul Doswell having a full and frank view, exchange of views with the reserve official. Walton plays it forward looking for Dundas, close to the corner flag. Dundas lays it back to Walton. Walton chipping it forward looking for Bolarimwa. Bolarimwa lays it back. Walton has done well there on the trying to get it back now to Dundas. Dundas under pressure plays it back to Walton. Now Walton's with a chance to cross. He does so, left foot, he comes in towards the far post. Tommy Wright in, but brilliant header out actually there. Callum MacDonald it was who got the header away as Tommy Wright was coming in, and the ball was cleared downfield. Sutton just getting a bit of pressure on. There's Jamie Butler, launches it forward. Dundas gets a flick on, comes to Cadogan inside the penalty area. Diarra gets a foot in but puts it up rather than out. Dundas going to come to Tommy Wright, is it, on the right edge of the penalty area. Gets a nudge in the back that nobody sees, and stuck out by Dan Jones for a throw in. So it's going to be another throw to Sutton. General feeling around here is that Sutton might have had a shout, a decent shout with that handball. Bolarimwa's header. The referee didn't make a symbol as though he'd seen it and was deciding not to give it, so maybe he didn't see it, but certainly from here it looked as though the Barrow defender's hand was high and it hit it. The throw-in comes in. John tries to get a flick on. Walton heads it back in. Half cleared. Gomez again went in there. Hooked back in by Collins, but this time he's comfortably through to goalkeeper Steve Arnold. Who will take his time. And then again it's a long clearance downfield, and Terrell Thomas judges it well, but falls to Dan Jones. Jones plays in a little flick off by Holt, but well watched by Downer, and Dundas. Ball laid back and hooked forward. Simon Downer, not a great header away, comes to Jones, laid off, comes to McDonald, plays it in. Downer in there with a good challenge, comes back to McDonald who'll have another go at putting it in. This time plays it down the line. James is onside this time, close to the byline. Simon Downer slipping slightly as the ball comes in, and Tyrell Thomas, and a miscued clearance there, or a deflected clearance, but eventually nicely tidied up by Cadogan and comes to Bolarimwa. Bolarimwa checks and lays it back to Simon Walton. Walton arrowing a crossfield pass towards Cadogan if he can find it. He can. It's headed out by Callum McDonald, and it'll be a throw in to Sutton, taken quickly by John. McDonald gets across for Cadogan, puts it out, and another throw into Sutton. This one level with the edge of the Barrow penalty area. 3.5 minutes, just under 4 minutes to half time. Barrow 1, Sutton 0. But Sutton loud claims for a penalty just now, and Tom Bolarimwa's header appeared to hit Bartram on the hand, but referee either didn't see it or didn't give it. It's Cadogan with the throw in, again looking for John, and that one's cleared away, and I think it's a throw in rather than a corner, but this one will be very close to the corner flag. And Cadogan will take this throw in again. Again, it's the long one, Collins. And that one does go for a corner this time, off Jordan White. And first corner of the game, I think, to either side. Goes to Sutton, and Cadogan will stay on this side to take it. Sutton looks to get back into this game just before half-time. They trail by a goal to nil. Cadogan drives the corner in. Header down and by Thomas, but wide. Clear header, and I think he's annoyed he didn't make more of that one. He got up high, got a clean contact on it, couldn't direct it, and it was wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post. So Barrow will restart play with a goal kick. So they lead by 1-0. Goal kick will be taken by Steve Arnold. Launched it downfield, flick on, and headed away by Tyrell Thomas. Headed on by Gomis. James trying to get in right edge of the penalty area against Tyrell Thomas, who holds him up well, forces him away from the penalty area, and in the end has to go back to Holt and back to James again. He now might get a chance to get the cross in, but it's not a great one. Jamie Collins should clear it, and does. Dundas back jump, and then Walton plays it forward. A little bit betwixt and between. Diarra tidies up, and Jamie Collins has to get in with a header to prevent it getting to James. And now Holt close to the touchline on the far side, trying to work his way through. Collins though tidies up well, squares it to Walton, and now on to Lewis John, who now come forward. John got Collins coming forward, but he's not coming forward that far, and it's out for a throw in on the far side. You see what he was trying to do, but the direction a little bit awry, and away it goes for a throw in to Barrow on the far side as we enter the last of the 45 minutes of the first half. Probably a minute or so's injury time. Nicky Bailey, of course, has gone off early on in the half and replaced by Simon Downer. There's Barrow attacking here with James taking Simon Downer on, but Downer just manages again to chuck him back, lays it back to Hall to Jordan White. White fires across it, ball across low. Downer sticks his foot out and blocks it. And this time Jamie Collins clears it downfield looking for Dundas, who gets a good flick on this time to Tommy Wright, but Diarra sweeping up behind gets there and clears it up. Sorry, Jones heads it forward to Holt, using his weight to try and hold off John, but ball falls to Cadogan, and Cadogan, some needful skill there, now finds Davis. Davis looking for Dundas, but picked up again by Barrow, and now White with a bit of space in the centre circle to turn, a lot of space in fact, and plays the ball to his right. 2 minutes we're going to have, 2 minutes extra time at the end of the first half. As Barrow try to add to their 9th minute Betenti Gomis goal. As the ball's headed out by Cadogan as far as McDonald, who again's got a bit of time. Gomis turns inside past Kenny Davis, now attacks the penalty area, still goes through, a good foot in there from down. It comes to James. James, right foot shot, but troubles only the spectator standing at the back of the terrace behind the goal. And Jamie Butler will have a goal kick to take. So Barrow, a goal up. We go into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Gomes, that 9th minute shot following a long throw in that was headed out to the edge of the penalty area. Shot took a slight deflection off Bailey that did for Jamie Butler, but the shot was on target, and so Gomes will claim the goal. And then one moment when Lewis John had a shot blocked. It was right, and the defender's missed it. Now Cadogan's with a chance to go into the penalty area. Hits a right foot shot and a decent save by Steve Arnold. It was swerving away, might have just been creeping in the post, might have been hitting the outside of it. Goalkeeper wasn't taking any chances. It was a slip by the defender that let Wright's pass get through to Cadogan. And Arnold to his left got a good hand to it and tipped it round. But Sutton finishing the half with a corner. And they could have done better with the last one than Terrell Thomas's header. Cadogan takes this one. Walton coming in at the far post, but wins it. But it loops up gently over the bar and lands on the top of Steve Arnold's net. And I think when Arnold takes this goal kick, referee Mark Edwards will probably draw the first half to a close, with Barrow a goal up. Sutton just coming into it a bit more in the last 10 minutes, and they'll feel they had a decent penalty shout a few minutes ago for that just after the half-hour mark, when across from the right Bollarimble got up with a header, and it did seem as though Bartram's arm was up and the ball hit it, but no decision given. Indeed, the referee does end the first half following the goal kick. Bollarimble is just going to make the point about the handball to the referee, and the referee telling him to go away. And I think Paul Doswell has thought better of going to continue the conversation. So half time, Barrow 1, Sutton 0. Vicente Gomes with the goal in the 9th minute. Sutton had their moments, but not too many of them so far. But to be fair, Barrow haven't either. They haven't really caused Sutton too many problems, apart from the goal by Gomes in the first 10 minutes. And so at half time here at Holker Street, it's Barrow 1, Sutton 0. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second half.
Goal sponsors Henry Armour Fitness and INS, Integrated Medical Systems Limited. Silver sponsors Legal PCS and War Group. Bronze sponsors Systems Review, Modern Finance, GMB, the Best Barrel Furnace, Castle Gates, and the Duke of Edinburgh Hotel.
Tonight's Vanarama National League games, Barrow against Sutton United, where it's Barrow who lead by a 1-0. The goal scored officially in the 10th minute by former Sutton midfielder Bedsenti Gomez. Long throw from the right from Dan Jones, not cleared properly. Terrell Thomas got the header out, but it fell to Gomez on the penalty area. Gomez hit a shot, it took a slight deflection off Nicky Bailey, but it was on target anyway, and ended up in the back of the net. And that's the goal by which Barrow lead at half time. Sutton had pretty good shout for a penalty in the first half when Tom Bollarimwa's header appeared to hit an arm that was quite close to Bollarimwa, but it was high up in the air, and the argument is that it really shouldn't have been that high. But Lewis John had a shot blocked, and just before half time Kieran Cadogan his fierce shot, which was tipped round the post by goalkeeper Steve Arnold. But we're away in the second half. Sutton playing from right to left, attacking the open end, which is where the Sutton 10 are standing. As Bollarimwa has just been unceremoniously taken out by Jordan White, and it could be that referee Mark Edwards is going to his pocket. I think he is. I don't think he's really got much choice. Bollarimwa's peed, took him away. White's tackle probably wasn't intended to catch Bollarimwa, but it did. And in the first minute of the second half, referee Mark Edwards shows the first yellow card of the game to Jordan White of Barrow. Sutton, who had to make a change in the first half when Nicky Bailey went off injured and was replaced by Simon Downer. We'll go through the two lineups in a moment. We'll see the Sutton free kick in a moment first, because it's in a position of attacking possibility. And Cadogan takes it right-footed towards the far post, headed back down and cleared sort of by Jones, and then headed on by Gomez, but only as far as Cadogan, who picked that up well. And Cadogan switches it to the left to Collins. Collins is going to go back to Cadogan, but a little bit of the momentum's gone out there, and Gomez has won it, and then it's past Collins and past Walton, and looks to put Barcham, who's the right back, but currently gone through the left winger, and Downer getting across. Barcham forced back to Jones. Jones to McDonald, and gets it back now. Dan Jones, cross too close to Butler, who doesn't catch it cleanly, but there's no pressure from the Barrow players on him, and they're able to comfortably take it. Sutton with Jamie Butler in goal. Now Lewis John, Simon Downer, Terrell Thomas and Jamie Collins across the back. Simon Walton and Kenny Davis in midfield. Tom Bollarimwa, Craig Dundas and Kieran Cadogan behind Tommy Wright. And Barrow will do in a second, as they have the ball at the moment. The ball's in play with Gomez, the scorer of the goal, but Simon Downer in with a good foot there, and now finds Bollarimwa. In fact, Sutton have gone more to a 4-4-2 in the second half. Bollarimwa and Cadogan either side of Davis and Walton. Davis is going to be put under pressure there by Holt, but Terrell Thomas tidies up. Walton still, I think, playing slightly in front of the back four as John plays it forward, looking for Davis. Diarra gets it, falls to Wright just outside the penalty area. Tommy Wright still battling, but Barrow player puts a foot in. Now Asa Hall brings it forward, plays it down, looking for Luke James. Butler coming outside his penalty area and doing his usual thing and launching it downfield. Diarra again wins it. Dundas gets it up and now finds Wright. Wright flicks it past, but Diarra sticks a foot in as well again. Plays it forward. Collins gets across just to stop Luke James making his Barrow debut up front tonight. They're all a bit untidy at the moment in midfield until Terrell Thomas puts a foot in and now comes forward. Plays it to the right to Bollarimwa, who's got a bit of space now to attack the penalty area. Cuts inside, but Hall comes in with a challenge. It's going to fall. Is it to Wright? No, it's played forward. Now Grant Holt for Barrow. It's faced by Downer and John, who eventually knocks it out for a throw-in. Barrow have got Steve Arnold in goal, Jack Bartham, Ollie Cook, Musa Diarra and Callum McDonald across the back. Jordan White, Asa Hall, Bedsenti Gomez and Dan Jones in midfield. with Luke James and Grant Holt up front. Dan Jones going across to take this throw in. It was his throw in that Sutton didn't defend in the 10th minute, and ball fell to Gomez, whose volley went in, and that's the goal by which they lead at the moment. The throw in this time doesn't cause any problems. It's cleared by Collins to Dundas, under pressure again from Diarra, and this time the referee decides that the pressure is unfair, and Sutton have a free kick just inside their own half, which Simon Walton drives towards Jamie Collins on the left, gets a flick on, but it falls to Jordan White, who knocks it against Collins, who reacts quickest and plays it now inside to Dundas, but Dundas can't bring it under control. Ball falls to Gomez, and Gomez turns away from Davis, now puts James in on the right, faced by Terrell Thomas, plays it back to Jordan White. Cadogan comes in, but the referee deciding that Cadogan has fouled White, and then will give Barrow a free kick on the halfway line. Free kick will be taken by Gomez just inside the half. Sutton, I think, are going to bring on Adam Coombs in a moment, so not wasting any time in changing things in the second half. And Gomez will hopefully take the free kick before the referee blows the final whistle, and does so now. Right-footed, not really worth the wait as Simon Walton heads it away. Comes to Holt on the right, under pressure from Collins. Well, eventually swings the ball in towards the far post. Diarra well muscled out of it by John, headed back by Hall. Diarra have another chance to this time flick it on. This time it's brought down by Terrell Thomas and hammered clear. McDonald wins it, heads it forward to Hall. Hall can only go back to McDonald again as Bolarin were putting him under pressure. Ball chipped in again. Terrell Thomas gets a good header out, comes to Hall. Lewis John plays away. This time the hand is up, and the referee does give the free kick. Hall, I think, claiming it's his face, but the free kick is given, and Sutton will make the change, and it will be Craig Dundas who makes way, and Adam Coombs who comes on 7 minutes into the second half. As Dundas returns 37 on Friday, makes way for Adam Coombs. The Sutton going to, I think, a more traditional 4-4-2 now, with Wright and Coombs up front. Cadogan pushed well forward, and Jamie Collins actually going forward to this free kick as well, which Jamie Butler will take. Tommy Wright against Diarra in the air, not really an equal contest, and this time Diarra wins it, and Jordan White plays it forward, and James knocks it past Thomas, and will run behind. Jamie Butler's come a very long way here, and if James gets there first, and Butler has taken the player out and has got a yellow card for it because it's close to the touchline and wasn't going to be a goal scoring opportunity. Very close to the touchline, and Jamie Butler out, didn't get the ball, got the player, and the referee not bowing to the noise from the Barrow supporters, and Butler gets a yellow card, but Barrow will have a free kick. Wasn't a vicious tackle, so it was only a question of whether it was a clear goal scoring opportunity, and it was close to the corner flag. Wasn't ever going to be a clear goal scoring opportunity, and the referee, you have to say, gets that one right. So it's a free kick to Barrow, though, still in a position of danger. Dan Jones to take it. It's about 15 yards in from the goal line and about 3 yards in from the touchline. And now he takes it left-footed, not much of a run-up, chip towards the far post, looking inevitably for Diarra, heads it down and scramble in the 6-yard box, and Terrell Thomas eventually clears it, and Tommy Wright picks it up, under pressure from McDonald, who does well, the left-back. Had a good game tonight, the Barrow left-back, and Tommy Wright, trying to win it back, has shown too much force, and McDonald wins a free kick for his team, and Barrow will take it. And we hear the supporters for the first time really in nearly we didn't hear this last year, and we haven't heard it in the first half this season, but for the first time you hear the Barrow supporters getting behind their team as they lead by a goal to nil and put Sutton under some pressure here. Free kick taken by Hall, again towards the far post, it's a good one. Jamie Collins with a header, it's gone very close to his own goal, and Butler in the end did well, falls out to James, good block, shot, fish, comes in, it's on the other side of the bar. Gunfire comes down, driven back across and cleared by Downer. It's a terrific effort by Hall, and it hit the underside of the bar and came down, and now Sutton could break, but Bartram gets in, left foot shot, and comes through to Butler. Terrific effort that from Ava Hall from the edge of the penalty area. Hit the underside of the bar, came down the right side of the line as far as Sutton were concerned. They survive, and it's still only 1-0. But there were several scares there. Jamie Collins' header towards his own goal was a bit of a worry for Jamie Butler, who had to scramble. His right is not finding it as easy this afternoon as he did against the Dover defence on Saturday. And Sutton have been forced backwards, down or under pressure from Jones. Barrow playing with good spirit here as Coombs managed to flick that one, and Will Bollerin will get there. If anyone can, he can. Comes in, and good header out by Bartram as Cadogan was coming in at the far post to Jordan White, who's loses it to Collins on the edge of the penalty area. But Barrow just about clear their lines, but Holt will have to go somewhere to get to that for a throw in, and a throw in it's going to be to Sutton about 20 yards from the goal line. Jamie Collins will take it. Throws to Coombs. Coombs goes between two players, going to the byline, manages to try to get it across, but slightly slips as he does, and it's a harmless cross in the end to goalkeeper Steve Arnold. So still 1-0 to Barrow, but they could have had two just then. Jamie Collins' header scrambled away by goalkeeper Butler, clear to the edge of the penalty area. Razor Hall did a terrific effort from the edge of the penalty area, thumped against the underside of the bar. I think it was Hall, it might have been Bartram actually, whatever it was, it thumped against the underside of the bar, and away in the end to safety. Coombs just finds Bollerin, who made something out of a pass there that nobody else would ever have got just now. As Cadogan, I think, will put Bartram under pressure here onto Walton's pass, and in the end Bartram puts the ball out, and the throw-in goes Barrow's way. I don't think Kieran Cadogan will be particularly enamoured of that one when he turns around and sees which way it's going, but he hasn't actually argued too much. And the throw-in will go to Barrow, and it comes down the line. Walton, good jump, heads it out again for throw-in. The throw-in will come down the line from Bartram again, and again Walton wins it in there. This one stays in, and Davis is fouled by Gomez, and free kick on the halfway line to Sutton, which Jamie Butler will take it. Butler's got to take a free kick. Butler thinks the ball's flat, but the real official has told him it's not. And Butler will take the free kick with the ball he's got. Drives it towards the far post, doesn't seem to be much wrong with that. Falls, and it's Jordan White who hacks it clear. Downer covering well, and Davis gets enough on the defensive header to get it back to Butler, who then rolls it out to Davis, again deepest Sutton player. Downer forward to Simon Walton, a bit all over the place at the moment. Sutton, Davis at right back. Walton's made him stretch for that, plays it down the line. John gets a flick on, looking for Coombs, under pressure from Viara, who surely fouls him, and so Sutton have a free kick on the right, level with the edge of the Barrow penalty area. Cadogan will take it. Thomas, Collins, John, Walton all getting into the penalty area. Only Downer and Davis outside, and Tommy Wright lurking on the edge. Cadogan free kick comes in, flick on by Terrell Thomas. Goalkeeper, I think, had it covered. Momentary squawk from the Sutton 10 behind the goal, but I don't think it was ever too much troubling the goalkeeper. It might have been quite close to the post in the end, but a goal kick it is. And goalkeeper Steve Arnold will again take the kick. 13 minutes gone in the second half. Barrow still lead by that Vicente Gomez goal in the 10th minute. Sutton trying to get back into it. They could have conceded a second a moment ago when shot hit the edge of hit the underside of the crossbar. You know, with a slight pause in the commentary there, the ball landed at my feet from Simon Walton's header, and I could have sympathised with Jamie Butler and not giving it back, but it went back, and Barrow are now going to have a... No, they're not going to have another throw. It's going to go to Sutton. It's one about 15 yards in from the goal line. And Jamie Collins will take it. Sutton trying to get back into the game. Made 2 subs already. Simon Downer for Mickey Bailey early when Bailey was injured, and Adam Coombs for Craig Dunbar. So only one more to make. And with Owen Evans, one of the substitutes, although he might just for a moment have thought he was going to be involved when Jamie Butler came herring out of goal just now and was booked. Bradley Hudson-Odoi and Aswad Thomas, the other 2 Sutton substitutes. But in the meantime, Barrow have got a throw in about 25 yards from goal, and we all know what that's going to mean. And Dan Jones, who's going to hurl another one into the penalty area, and that one does go a very long way, and Lewis John in with a header that goes out for another throw in. He might have almost hoped he was going to go for a corner actually, but it's gone this side of the flag, and it's going to be another Sutton throw in. Bradley Hudson-Odoi is about to return to Sutton colours as Sutton's 3rd substitute, but not before Dan Jones has hurled another missile into the Sutton penalty area, and that's the longest of the lot, and John wins it, and that one lands on top of the net, and so it will be a corner. They've actually, Sutton defended those throw-ins reasonably well, apart from the first one, and the problem wasn't not getting the first header in. Terrell Thomas did well there. It was not picking Gomis up on the edge of the penalty area. But this time it's a corner. Jones takes those as well on this side. Barrow right. They attack the dressing room end in this second half. Left-footed in-swinger. Butler comes with a sort of punch. John hooks it on. Cleared back out, no offside flag, and disappointing header that in the end from Barrow's point of view by Ollie Cook. And the 3rd Sutton substitute is going to be made, and it's Kenny Davis coming off, and welcome back to the Sutton line-up to Bradley Hudson-Odoi, who comes on with just under half an hour to go in his first Sutton appearance of the season, I believe, in competitive football. I haven't got the statistics in front of me, but he's on and he's playing now. Bolarin looking as though he's going to go down the middle. Coombs has it but hasn't managed to keep it in, and Barrow have a throw in. 17 minutes in the second half gone. I'm going to get another one from Terrell Thomas. No, that one hits the barrier just in front of me and bounces back again on another Barrow throw, which Barcham throws down the line. Thomas hits it against a Barrow player, and so that's Sutton who get the throw. And for the moment I thought he'd hit against Jamie Collins, and we were going to have another Dan Jones effort, but it's Sutton's throw in. Coombs gets the flick on this time. Diarra across right, putting him under pressure this time, and eventually between them, but Coombs can't quite keep the ball in. Right, and Coombs almost mugged Diarra there on the touchline, but the ball ran out of space, and the ball out in the end for a Barrow throw in. Walton again wins that one. Cadogan lay off. Gomes gets a foot in, and it's fairly close to me as well, but bounced off a step to my right, back onto the pitch, and Jamie Collins will take a throw in just in front of me here. Back to Terrell Thomas. Downer, and Jamie Butler had made himself into a right back, and Downer didn't know it and played it back into the penalty area, but damage rectified to a certain extent, although the clearance wasn't a great one. And now Gomes putting White in on the right. If White can get there, he can, close to the corner flag. Got Barcham in support, Bacon coming up from the right back to put a cross in. Puts in a low one, shot on the turn, no real contact as Hall gets in, lays it back, but Walton saw that one coming and gets there before it gets to Gomes, and Gomes battles hard and chip up by Cook, and Walton is nudged, hits the ground, free kick taken quickly, and the referee deciding the ball was moving, and we'll go back to another free kick, which will give Sutton a chance at least to put them forward, although Tommy Wright had got clear on the left from that quick free kick, but the referee decided the ball was moving. And now everybody except Simon Downer and now Kieran Cadogan with Kenny Davis off pitch. Kieran Cadogan is the player who's got to drop slightly. So Butler takes the free kick, falls over, but still a decent one, but header out and comes to Cadogan on the edge of the centre circle. And Cadogan's pass to Hudson-Odoi is not to Hudson-Odoi. It's about 5 yards in front of Hudson-Odoi, and as a result the ball is out for a Barrow throw in, which will be taken on the far side by Dan Jones, or at least won't reach the penalty area from there, at least not the Sutton penalty area. And 25 minutes to go, Barrow still lead by a 0-0. Jones throwing it down the line, ball flicked on, Terrell Thomas gets a foot in, but then it's laid off, looking for Gomez, but Collins across, finding John, and John lays it back to Butler, and Butler plays it downfield, headed back, and it's going to fall to Coombs getting in, and then some neat work, some very neat work actually by Lewis John, who tidies up and plays it back to Jamie Butler. Butler plays it forward looking for Coombs. Diarra predictably in with the header, and is out for a Sutton throw on the far side. Bolarim was come over to the left now, Hudson-Odoi on the right, Coombs and Wright going through the middle. John plays it down looking for Cadogan, but he loses out to Hall, and Barrow clear it, but only to Terrell Thomas in the centre circle. Thomas plays it forward to Coombs, little layoff looking for Hudson-Odoi, but McCallum with a good touch, and Jamie Butler coming outside his penalty area again, isn't taking any chances this time. I think the surface just getting a little bit slippery. He lost his footing there. And Barthram will take this throw in about 15 yards inside the Sutton half, as Barrow still lead by a 0-0. They're down, and Thomas and Collins between them will put it out of play, but it's only about 15 yards from the corner flag, and we all know what's coming next, which will, as well, convenient for Barrow wind the clock down, because Jones playing on the left has got to come all the way across to the right to take this throw in, but take it he will, and Sutton will again have to defend the missile that is the Dan Jones throw-in. And here it comes, and again it's hurled in almost to the centre of the penalty area. The flick on is from a Barrow player this time, but fairly aimlessly, but it's kept in by Holt, close to the left corner flag, tries to turn past Downer, two experienced campaigners, and it's Downer who comes out on top, and Hudson-Odoi who completes the clearance, knocking it forward looking for Tommy Wright, and again McDonald has done well, the left back, against Wright, and Bartram's covering and finds the goalkeeper Steve Arnold, who launched it downfield. John wins it and headed forward by Asa Hall. Downer, I think he's going to have to put this out of play, hooks it with his foot round, and manages to keep it in. It comes to McDonald, and Walton now has it and plays it off to John. John down the line, no, not down the line, over the line into the terrace. And it's going to be another Barrow throw on the far side, but inside their own half, or possibly not actually where it went out. It could be inside the Sutton half indeed. Nobody too much of a hurry to take it. Jones is going to take it. It's going to be on the halfway line from where he probably can reach the penalty area, but that one, not one of his better ones. It goes up rather than along, and John comes in, hooks it out of play again, and Jones will get another go, about 5 yards closer to goal. Bit stop-start this at the moment. It reminds me of the old days of the Isthmian League kick-in a little bit, but John has come across and cut that one out again. Just managed to keep it in, although only to a Barrow player, but now Bolarumwa has it, and Walton now finds Jamie Collins. He's got a little bit of space to come forward over the halfway line. Got Coombs and Wright in the middle, chips it in, looking for Tommy Wright inside the penalty area, but the ball bounces up, and in the end hacked away by McDonald, and Hudson-Odoi wasn't quite as far forward, I think, as manager Paul Doswell would have liked. And Sutton throw in taken, finds Hudson-Odoi. John gets it back. Under pressure from McDonald, goes out. Sutton throw in again, which John takes this time to Cadogan, corner of the penalty area. Cadogan chips it in, Diarra clears. Hudson-Odoi out jumped by Jones. It will go out and there'll be another Sutton throw in. And again, John will take it. I think, not sure exactly where this one's going. Eventually comes to Bolarimwa. Bolarimwa does well to shake off one tackle. Now comes inside, plays it forward, plays a 1-2 with Cadogan. Bolarimwa going to the penalty area and tackle comes in on the edge of the penalty area, forces the ball back to Arnold. Sutton look as though hopeful for a foul or hopeful for a back pass, don't get either. And Arnold, in fact, the Barrow player is down and the referee is quite ludicrously going to make Arnold kick the ball out, and he has kicked it out. He's kicked it out of the ground. Now, why in that situation a referee can't stop play with the ball in the goalkeeper's possession and then go and drop the ball for the goalkeeper, I'm not quite sure. But there we go. We will now restart play with a Sutton throw on the far side, which will obviously go back to goalkeeper Arnold. The ball has come back from behind the stand. Half the Barrow players are having a drink over here. Nobody appears to be in a particular hurry to get things going. Not quite sure who's in charge of this event. I don't think it's the officials. But anyway, Sutton have taken the throw in anyway because it was going back to Arnold. And we're, as you were, about 2 minutes of nothingness ago. Barrow are going to make their first substitute. Brad Bores, number 11, is going to be coming on as it's launched forward by Arnold, who has got a fair old kick, and that one's gone too far. It's come all the way through to Jamie Butler. Butler kicks it downfield, not as far as Arnold did. Diarra wins it, inevitably. Simon Walton turns well in the centre circle. James looking a bit pained after that, and then angles the ball towards Hudson-Odoi, but it's cut out by McDonald, and Jones clears again, high into the air. Walton waiting for it. Cook and Walton both miss it. Cook eventually just about gets it out to the right to James. James gets past Jamie Collins now, attacks the right edge of the penalty area. He's got Grant Holt getting into the middle. It's a good cross coming in, and Simon Downer had to do well there, and Sir Earl Thomas found it rather unexpectedly at his feet and brings it forward, and then finds Bolarimwa, who cuts inside and plays it back to Thomas, who then plays it on to John on the right. John just having to move a bit forward to make sure he got that, and now plays it through to Cadogan. Cadogan now with a chance to come forward, goes past one defender, cracks the edge of the penalty area. Cadogan lays it into Tommy Wright. Real chance here for Tommy Wright. It's in the corner of the net. Tommy Wright again. 16 league and cup goals this season, put through by Kieran Cadogan, and this time there was no mistake at all, and Tommy Wright has the equaliser. 18 minutes to go. Superb work by Cadogan, good work by Lewis John as well in the first place. Superb work by Cadogan, played it in on the left to Tommy Wright, slipped the ball past the goalkeeper. Barrow 1, Sutton 0, and as a double whammy, Dan Jones is coming off as it being replaced by Bradley Bowres. 17 minutes to go, which means that when Sutton do concede a throw in their own half, they're not going to have to defend along Dan Jones' long throw. The Sutton 10 behind the goal, much happier voice now. 16 minutes to go, and it's Barrow 1, Sutton 1. Tommy Wright, put in by Kieran Cadogan, never looked like missing. Continues his superb 2018. And we hear the noise from the Sutton supporters behind the goal, who must now feel they've got a chance of going on to win this game, as Collins knocks it forward again looking for Wright. And Wright has forced the ball out, and all sorts of uncertainty as to what's happening. The linesman didn't put his flag up. The referee wasn't sure it had gone out. In the end, it has gone out. And Sutton have got the throw in. All a bit bizarre. I don't actually think the officials have covered themselves in glory today. Anyway, Jamie Collins is going to take the throw in, gets it back from Simon Walton, plays it into Bolarimwa. Bolarimwa this time trips the Barrow player Jordan White, and Barrow will get a free kick, which the goalkeeper will take. Jamie Collins just pointing out to the assistant referee that he can't quite believe that he didn't see the ball was out just then. But there we go, free kick will be taken by the Barrow goalkeeper Steve Arnold. Barrow 1, Sutton 1. Tommy Wright with a Sutton equaliser just a couple of minutes ago, as Barrow now try to come forward with Holt, trying to play the ball in. Lewis John will have to watch this because he's got Barres coming in on the far side, and in the end clears it, but this time knows that unless somebody else has got a long throw, and it's not going to be as long as Jones's, then the danger might not be quite so... No, in fact it's a short one, but Barrow still have it. Hall. John looks it through, Gomez heads it on, and Cadogan hammers it downfield. And that's one for Hudson-Odoi to chase, but he won't quite get there, and it goes out of play for a Barrow throw-in. Barrow 1, Sutton 1. Quarter of an hour to go. Gomez for Barrow in the 10th minute. Tommy Wright just a couple of minutes ago equalising for Sutton, as John wins that one in the air, and Walton plays that one forward looking for Coombs, who'll put Diarra under pressure, and Diarra, oh, not so clever there, he's lost out to Tommy Wright, that's dangerous. Right edge of the penalty area, and Diarra actually recovers well, puts in an excellent tackle and manages to keep it in, and is then fouled by Hudson-Odoi by the corner flag, and it's going to be a free kick to Barrow, and I think it's going to be a booking for Bradley Hudson-Odoi, making his return from long-term injury and going into the referee's book for a clumsy tackle on Diarra. Right by the corner flag though, so there wasn't any danger that Diarra was going to do anything major with it, and the referee might just have allowed him away with a word there, but no, Hudson-Odoi becomes the second Sutton player booked after goalkeeper Jamie Butler. And Barrow have had Jordan White booked, all the bookings in the second half. Holt can't keep the free kick in, goes out for a Sutton throw-in. Holt kicks the advertising hoarding on the far side in annoyance. I think Barrow are about to bring on Byron Harrison. Lewis John knocks that one forward, but it's headed forward. Walton under pressure from Barres, and Simon Downer having to tidy up in the end, chips it forward. And slightly worrying flicker from the floodlights then. With 14 minutes to go, having come all this way and got to 76 minutes, the last thing we want is a floodlight failure. As ball headed out to Holt and now to Barres. Sorry, it's James, now Barres on the left. John blocks the cross. Simon Walton wanting someone to take charge, deciding in the end he'd better do it himself. Plays it up, and Bolarimwa's turned past McDonald and got away from him here. Goes over the halfway line. He's got Cadogan going forward in him, but plays it to the left to Hudson-Odoi now with the first chance to run at the Barrow defence. Hudson-Odoi, left edge of the penalty area, chipped towards the far post. Got Coombs going in, but just beyond the far post. Coombs couldn't get there. Arnold let it run as well, and it's going to be a Barrow goal kick. 12 minutes to go. Barrow 1, Sutton 1, and here is Byron Harrison, experienced and proficient striker for Barrow, and it's Grant Holt who makes way, so it's a straight striker for striker swap, and Byron Harrison comes on to join Luke James up front for the last 12 minutes of this game at Holker Street, which is tied up at 1-1 at the moment. Goal kick launched downfield by Arnold. John misjudges that one. It comes to James, edge of the penalty area, laying it off to Barres. Could get a shooting chance here, and does, but shoots it high and wide. Simon Walton coming across to try and put him off. In the end, the ball high and wide, and I think has gone where Jamie Butler wished it had gone about half an hour ago, because now a replacement is going to come on. Jamie Butler had a free kick just here, just in front of us earlier, and was trying to persuade the reserve official that the ball was flat and she wasn't having any of it. And but now the ball has gone out, and Jamie Butler will take the free kick with a new ball. Sutton now buoyed by that Tommy Wright equaliser can they find their way to a second goal? Walton gets a nudge in the back from Harrison. Referee not perfectly positioned to see it, but sees it nevertheless, and Sutton get the free kick just inside their own half. Collins leaves it for Butler again, and Sutton just... I think if you'd offered Sutton a point before this game, they'd have taken it. Long trip on a Tuesday night. And at the moment, it's 1-1, and if it stays like this, that's a point they will take. 10 minutes to go. Jamie Butler drives the free kick forward again. Header out comes to Cadogan, edge of the penalty area. Cadogan to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi trying to take Barcham on, and Barcham manages to get the better of him, and Hudson-Odoi coming back, little nudge in the back, and Hudson-Odoi's just got to be a little bit careful here. I think possibly a lack of games is possibly showing up. The free kick's taken quickly, and Simon Downer is across the cover, and Tommy Wright having to do some covering back as well, as Coombs gets a lay-off to Cadogan, but is this time by Hall, plays it forward to Harrison. Coombs has stayed down. Harrison to Bowress on the left. Bowress, left foot cross, blocked by Lewis John, goes behind for a Barrow corner. Coombs is up again, though looking a little bit sore, and Bowress will take the corner on the left. Coombs, though, running back into the penalty area to do his defensive duties at this corner, and waiting for a while. Diarra inevitably is up there, and here corner driven in. Walton gets a good header in, and John should head it away. It's gone up rather than out. Edwards and Walton has stayed down, and Coombs has gone down again, and I think there's going to be a pause here. Walton went down holding his head, so the referee stopped play reasonably quickly. Coombs is up again, though limping a little bit. Walton's going to have to come off because Bobby Childs got on, and meanwhile the referee is going to start play with a drop ball. Simon Walton coming to the sideline, and meanwhile, to my delight, Harry Panayotou is going to be coming on, or Paniotou I think it's probably pronounced, for the last 8 minutes plus stoppage time. Walton has made it off the pitch, and not entirely sure what's going to happen here. The referee's now having to referee an argument between about 8 people as to how this ball should be dropped. It's all a little bit, and in the end it's going to be dropped to Jamie Collins, who is going to play it all the way downfield to Barrow keeper Steve Arnold. Walton is weighed back on, Sutton are back up to 11, and we have about 6 minutes to go, and it's 1-1. Collins wins that one in the air well. Tommy Wright forcing Hall backwards, finds McDonald. McDonald plays it down the left to Bowress, who's looked dangerous since he came on as substitute, and almost gets a cross in, but John blocks that well, and he's had a good game, Lewis John. His part in the goal shouldn't be underestimated as well. But Barrow have it again with White. White forced backwards though by Collins, and in the end his cross through a pass cut out by Cadogan. Collins finds it at his feet again. Bolarimwa slips and then tries to be a bit too clever in midfield and gives it away to James. James attacking right over to the penalty area, trying to take Thomas on the outside, and does, and now might get a cross in and does, but Bolarimwa, who to be fair had made the mistake, got back and did the covering. Diarra out jumps Coombs, the ball knocked forward again, and this time Downer will play it forward again looking for Coombs. Diarra gets a header in, Cadogan knocks it forward. Coombs this time gets a flick on looking for Tommy Wright, who just about beaten by Gomez, and now has a chance to bring it forward. Gomez, long ball looking for Byron Harrison, left edge of the penalty area. If Harrison can get there, he's going to be fairly tight to the byline. Got Bowress in support, and that's all he can do is give it to him, but Bowress with a chance. Now McDonald coming in, Bolarimwa a little bit on his heels, cross comes in, Terrell Thomas in the way, brings it away, and now Hudson-Odoi plays it forward looking for Wright. This time the Barrow defender gets in, but in the end Cadogan happy to play it back to Jamie Butler. it'll be Luke James who comes off when Panayiotou comes on in a moment. As Coombs gets a good header in there, but it's gone away from where Tommy Wright is. But Wright will still put McDonald under pressure, but some good work there by McDonald, and then finds Barres. Barres finds Gomez as Barrow now pushed for the winner. Harrison though is easily found out by Downer, and John plays it forward looking for Coombs. Lay off again looking for Wright, but can't quite find him, and McDonald steps in again. The left back this time comes forward. Downer gets a tackle in. John then gets a tackle in and plays it forward and finds Bolarimwa. Bolarimwa goes past Hall rather easily. He's got a bit of space in front of him now, Bolarimwa, if he wants to attack the penalty area. Taking Diarra on, but Diarra has done well, has he? No. Bolarimwa still got there. Chips the ball into the far post. Hudson's always coming in, but Bartram heads it away. It's going to come to Jamie Collins. Middle inside the half. Collins plays it to Cadogan into the penalty area. Tries to get it back from Cadogan, but Bartram this time's covered well and clears up towards Harrison. Walton sticks a foot in low, and if Jamie Collins can keep that in, Sutton could attack again. Now with Cadogan. Cadogan plays it to Collins. All a bit tight. Cadogan has got Bartram up that side. Cadogan gets the cross in, takes a deflection. It's going to go for a corner. Sutton with a chance to put pressure on the Barrow goal here with 4.5 minutes to go. 1-1. Barrow just waiting to make the substitute as the Sutton 10's voices can be heard from behind the goal. The 10 Sutton supporters who've travelled up to Barrow and might see their side grab something here as the corner will be taken, I think, by Cadogan. I can't quite see. Yes, it's Cadogan. Chips the corner in. Coombs with a flick on. Terrell Thomas in. All the headers block's going to come out to Lewis John, but just before he can get the shot in, a Barrow player clears it. Jamie Butler acting as sweeper to keep the pressure on. Launches it back to the edge of the penalty area. Headed away again by Barrow. Jamie Collins should win that one in the air and does. Heads it down to Thomas. Thomas, edge of the penalty area. That one hammered away again. Tommy Wright's doing the defending against Luke James there, and James plays it back to McDonald. McDonald now forward to Boras. Boras plays it forward, but James isn't going to reach that. With Usain Bolt speed, he wouldn't have reached that. And so that will, I think, be James's last contribution, except it's Jordan White. Jordan White coming off, limping a little bit. That might be a late change to the certainly a 24 on there originally. But Jordan White is off. Harry Panayiotou is on for the last 3 minutes plus stoppage time, as both sides look to grab what would surely be a winner now. Barrow 1, Sutton 1. Gomez for Barrow in the first half. Tommy Wright for Sutton in the second. As Jamie Butler's goal kick goes down field. Diarra, powerful header in, hooked forward again by Walton this time. And Cadogan has just a little chip there on Panayiotou, and I think Cadogan, the referee is going to want a word with Cadogan, and the hand is going to the pocket. It was a sly little trip, I think, and Cadogan becomes the third Sutton player to be shown a yellow card, and Barrow will have a free kick, which Bartram will take. Tommy Wright being urged to go forward, not get involved in the defending this time. Bartram delivers the free kick. John, who's had an outstanding game actually at right back, wins that one. Nudge there was by Thomas, and John again gets a tackle in, and this time it falls to Cadogan, whose clearance is a bit haphazard. In fact, he falls to Barrow, and James now with a chance to attack for Barrow, taking Simon Downer on, but cross still might come all the way through to Diarra. Shot on the turn is, I think, further wide than the noise from the crowd suggests. It came further than it should have done, that cross. Diarra couldn't get his foot round it though, and in the end it was 2 or 3 yards wide of Jamie Butler's right hand post. As the Barrow supporters try to get behind their side again. 1.5 minutes plus injury time to go. Barrow 1, Sutton 1. And Sutton with a front line of 4 here for this Jamie Butler goal kick. So Sutton think they can grab a winner in this last couple of minutes, plus probably 2 or 3 of injury time. As Diarra wins that one as well, but heads it out for a throw in to Sutton. Going to be about 15 yards inside the Barrow half. Lewis John will take it. I think it's going to be 4 extra minutes from what I can understand, as John being forced back, surely being fouled by Gomez. Yes, being fouled by Gomez, who's not, as he never was at Sutton, really enamoured when a free kick goes against him. Referee probably can't understand what he's saying to him, but anyway, Simon Walton will take the free kick. Walton's free kick about 2 yards inside from the touchline, and about 10 yards inside the half. Thinking better of playing a short one down the line to Bolarimwa. Instead plays an odd one to Tommy Wright, who can't control it, and then Barrow clearance has made a mess of, and that was a fairly undistinguished bit of play all round, except by Terrell Thomas, and now John, but John is tackled from the back by Harrison, and now Diarra comes forward, trying to play it forward to James, but Downer knocks it forward. Hall in with the header. This time the flick on comes to Paniotto, who could have a chance to attack here. Paniotto, left edge of the penalty area, finds Gomez. Gomez, right edge of the penalty area, cuts inside, but he's lost it, I think. And Cadogan manages to get the ball away. 4 additional minutes it will be, and we're into them. Tommy Wright plays it inside Hall, but James coming back well to cover and manages to win the ball. Plays it forward to Paniotto, lays it back to Bartram. The ball in isn't a great one. Simon Walton should cover it once he persuades Bolarimwa to get out of the way, and plays it into the far corner where Tommy Wright will try and put McDonald under pressure. The left back, who I think has been probably, certainly for Barrow, the best player on the pitch tonight, and plays it forward to Hall, who squares it across the back line to Bartram. And Bartram inside to Gomez. Cadogan putting him under pressure. Still putting him under pressure. Plays it to Bartram again. Adam Coombs comes in with a challenge. Out for throw-in. Just inside the... Bartram. He's going to take the throw-in. Well, the Barrow man of the match has been announced as Diarra, which strikes me as a sort of decision that it's easy to make. But anyway, Sutton have it with Hudson-Odoi. Plays it down the line looking for Coombs, who will take the defender on and force Cook to play it out for a throw into Sutton, close to the Barrow corner flag, as we're in the second minute of the 4 additional minutes. 1-1, and it's Sutton on the attack, looking for possibly a dramatic a la Dagenham winner. Could it come? Jamie Collins jogging forward to take the throw in, close to the corner flag, in front of the Sutton 10, whose support has been terrific this evening. It's pretty cold out on that terrace, I should imagine. And Jamie Collins launches it in, looking for John, who gets a flick on, comes to Coombs, edge of the penalty area, gets a shot in, takes a deflection, all the power comes off it, comes through to goalkeeper Arnold, who's only got James up front, so doesn't kick it immediately. We've got just under 2 minutes to go. And Arnold does then launch it forward, and he has got, it's the biggest kick I've seen, I think. And Downer and Collins between them managed to clear the danger. And Tommy Wright again has done well there, and Wright now comes over the halfway line and to the left, lays it off to Bolarimwa. Bolarimwa, he's got a chance to run in forward now, and is he taken out? No. Yes, he is. Referee's decided to give it. Thought for a moment he decided that Bolarimwa hadn't been fouled, but he's decided that he has. And Sutton will have a free kick about 25-30 yards out from goal. And Sutton will have the free kick, which Bolarimwa might just have been a little lucky to get, but it looks as though the defender just ran across in front of him. I'm not sure there was a huge amount of contact, but anyway, Sutton have a free kick 25 yards out. Coombs and Wright having well. I think Adam Coombs has taken responsibility for this one. Wall of 5 behind the white foam, and Coombs with a chance to win the game for Sutton with 30 seconds to go. 25 yards out. Here he comes, right-footed, tries to chip. Not entirely sure what the idea. Looked as though he was trying to chip it. Ended up a bit of a toe end, drifted away wide. Goal kick to Barrow, and I suspect when Arnold takes this goal kick, that might be it. We're up. Virtually had the 4 minutes of stoppage time. Looks as though it's going to finish all level. Barrow 1, Sutton 1. And unless Barrow can possibly launch one last attack from this goal kick. They can't. The final whistle goes. Sutton have a point. Vicente Gomez scores for Barrow in the 9th minute, or 10th minute. Long throw in, headed out, volleyed back in by Gomez. Barrow, little bit unfortunate not to get a second early in the second half. A terrific shot from the edge of the penalty area, hit the underside of the bar and came down. But Tommy Wright, 17 minutes from the end, put in by Kieran Cadogan after some super work by Cadogan, slotted it past the keeper, 1-1, and that's how it finished. And in the end, probably a fair result. Thanks for listening. We're staying up in Lancaster overnight. We're back on Wednesday. But the Sutton supporters, 13 was the official announcements. There could be 3 round the corner, but the 10 who've been standing on the terrace throughout the evening, getting a chance now to appreciate their players who've battled well in this second half and have got a draw that in the end they've thoroughly deserved. And I'm sure if you offered Sutton 4 points from Dover away and Barrow away, they'd have taken that before the weekend started. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back at the